I went and saw Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning in IMAX when it came out, and it's safe to say it didn't disappoint. Before this, the only other Mission Impossible movie I'd seen in IMAX was Fallout, when I was on a trip in Hawaii, and that was one of the best theater experiences I have ever had. I saw Final Reckoning on the biggest IMAX screen in the PNW, which I'm pretty lucky for. As for the movie itself, let's get some of the negatives out of the way first. The film is 3 hours, which isn't a complaint, as I'm not complaining about more Mission Impossible. However, the first hour is a bit of a slow burn, and I get that these movies are made with everyone in mind, so you don't have to watch any of the previous movies to understand this one. That being said, as someone who had watched every Mission Impossible movie, it did kind of feel like the movie was just telling me stuff I already knew. Of course, there's still action in the first hour, though don't expect any huge stunts yet. I also still didn't really like the villain that much. He was okay at best, though he didn't really compare to most of the previous films at all. And this isn't really a negative, though Lorne Bell sadly doesn't return for this movie. Instead, Max Arouge and Alfie Godfrey take his place. I like their work well enough, though I did prefer the more intense-sounding score Lorne Bell did for the previous two movies. With all the negatives out of the way, let's move on to the positives. The last 2 hours of this film are insane from start to finish. There's two major stunts in this film, with the first one being a 20-plus minute sequence that it doesn't cut away from. There's a part where the aspect ratio changes directly because of something that's happening in the scene, and that was when I knew it was absolutely worth it to watch in IMAX. The intensity and claustrophobia is at an all-time high during this scene, and it's just an insane scene all around that's very clearly meant to be watched on the biggest screen possible. The second stunt is actually on the posters, and it's pretty similar to the final stunt for Fallout, only somehow even more risky. It's absolutely an edge-of-your-seat experience, and it'll have you thinking, how the fuck is Tom Cruise still alive? If you thought the cinematography during the first stunt was insane, you haven't seen anything yet. Like, how the fuck did they even get some of those angles here? Some people have an issue with how the stunt ended, though as a fan of Mission Impossible, I'd say it's pretty in line with what's been previously established. The way the stunt plays out is pretty similar to Fallout with what's going on with the plot and how it plays out, but honestly, I didn't really care. It was just that good. Speaking of the plot, it's pretty good. Definitely not the strongest plot, though it's still a good way to finish out the series, and it had a really good ending, which is something I was really scared wouldn't happen. Fortunately, this film sticks to landing and provides a solid ending for Ethan Hunt's character. As for the characters, I would say I like how everyone was done except for the villain, who I'm lenient towards due to the true main villain being the Entity, the evil AI from the last film. Luther and Benji got the endings I kind of expected them to have, and I'm glad they continue to make Grace a good character, given her archetype can be done pretty poorly. That all being said, I'm going to give Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning an 8.7 out of 10. Not my favorite film in the franchise, but a solid conclusion, and one definitely worth experiencing in theaters. Thanks for watching, I'll see you on the next one.